第7章红线帝制，立宪君主与权威重建的失败。Chapter 7 The Hongxian Monarchy Failure of Constitutional Monarchy and Authority Reconstruction 1. 章明论帝，制动机，非个人野心，实为秩序重建。I. 章明论君主动机，非个人野心，乃秩序重建。章明重申，袁世凯称帝的核心目标是通过君主立宪重建中央权威。Resolving local separatism, ineffective governance, and official disorder under republicanism. The Hongxian monarchy was explicitly a constitutional monarchy, establishing a parliament, implementing a constitution, abolishing eunuchs, and reforming rituals, not a restoration of traditional autocracy. 2. 帝制失败的三重原因。帝制失败的三重原因。E. Republican ideas were deeply rooted. Monarchy crossed a political red line. 2. Beiyang loyalists like Duan Qirui and Feng Guozhang refused imperial titles, causing internal division. 3. Kai Yi's National Protection War and Southern Provincial Independence led to military collapse. Yuan abolished the monarchy in March 1916 and died in June 1916, resulting in the complete fragmentation of the Beiyang clique. 第8章思想文化启蒙，新文化运动发轫与思想论战。Chapter Bar Intellectual and Cultural Enlightenment Rise of the New Culture Movement and Ideological Debates 1. 新文化运动兴起。I. Rise of the New Culture Movement 1915年，陈独秀创办了青年 magazine 后更名为新青年，倡导民主与科学，批判儒家伦理、旧文学和传统道德。This launched the New Culture Movement, marking the most intense ideological transformation in modern China. 2. 胡适文学革命与白话文运动2 Huxi's Literary Revolution and Vernacular Movement. In 1917, Huxi published Proposal for Literary Reform, putting forward the 8 doctrines and advocating vernacular Chinese to replace classical Chinese, initiating the literary revolution. The New York Times reprinted his article, calling it China's Cultural Renaissance. Huxi advocated gradual reform, more problem-solving, less ideology, talking becoming a representative of liberalism. 3. 梁漱溟文化保守主义出名，东西文化论战开端。3. 梁漱溟文化保守主义的早期声音，东西方之史。Cultural debate. Against the tide of total anti-traditionalism, Liang Shuming published drafts of Eastern and Western cultures and their philosophies, defending Confucian cultural values and advocating reconciliation between China and the West, while continuing tradition. This formed an early ideological confrontation with Huxi and Chen Duxiu, launching a decade-long East-West cultural debate. Chen Mu highly praised Liang Shuming. He alone upheld traditional culture, preventing total cultural rupture and preserving roots for Chinese thought. 4. 明初思想界的多元格局。4. 多元格局的早期共和知识分子圈。Early Republican intellectual circles saw parallel currents of liberalism, cultural conservatism, embryonic Marxism, and anarchism. This pluralistic turbulence inherited the late Qing spread of Western learning and prepared ideological resources for the May 4th movement and the National Revolution. 第9章袁氏时代的中外总评。Chapter 9 Overall Assessments of the Yuan Era at Home and Abroad 国内学者定评。1. Domestic Scholarly Consensus. Qian Mu, Yuan inherited the flaws of the Qing court, attempting to quell chaos through strongman centralization. Yet by destroying the constitution and proclaiming himself emperor, he lost all legitimacy, ultimately leading to warlord separatism, the source of republican chaos. 章明，袁的悲剧是传统权威与现代制度的不匹配。Using monarchy to resolve republican crisis was doomed to failure. 唐启华，外交在21条问题上实现了有限的损害控制。袁的弱国外交能力 were long stigmatized. 国际舆论与学界评价。2. International public opinion and academic evaluations. The New York Times obituary on the 7th of June 1916. Yuan Shikai was once the hope of unification, but his monarchical choice destroyed republican trust, leaving a divided China. Emmanuel C.Y.H. concluded, The Yuan era was the last struggle of traditional strongman politics in modern China. Its failure opened a decade of warlord chaos. 第7卷结语 Conclusion to Volume 7. Yuan Shikai's rule from 1912 to 1916 was a critical 5-year period of comprehensive institutional, economic, and cultural transformation in the early republic. Debates between constitutionalists and revolutionaries, and between the presidential and cabinet systems, defined constitutionalism. National industry entered a golden age amid World War I, with Zheng Jian's industrial salvation as a benchmark. Diplomacy over the 21 demands achieved limited damage control in a military impasse. The new culture movement emerged, and East-West cultural debates opened a new intellectual era. Yet Republican authority vacuum, institutional transplantation failure, and strongman politics turning to monarchy ultimately led to constitutional collapse and Beiyang fragmentation. After Yuan's death, China entered a new era of local separatism, ideological upheaval, and rising social movements, laying the full historical logic for Volume 8. Warlord Chaos, Zhang Xun Restoration, May 4th Wave, and Frontier Crisis.